You're watching this because you want to know the secrets behind building a successful Amazon FBA business. You don't want to be waking up to no sales, PPC costs bleeding you dry, and your head in your hands wondering what the hell went wrong. You want to be opening up your seller app excited to see how many sales you've made while you've been sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking about how you're going to reinvest that money into the future growth of your business. So what's the magic formula to being successful? If you want to be making 10, 20, 50, 100K per month, you need to be implementing these steps. I'm going to start with the most important thing, and that is realizing that at the end of Amazon on people's phones, there are real life human beings that are actually interacting, shopping for products. They do have a brain and they shouldn't be treated as just a number on the screen. The big shift that you need to make is stop looking at things like impressions, clicks, and sales as numbers, but rather customer interactions and touch points. The more you understand about a customer's behavior and why they do the things they do, the better you'll be able to attend to their needs, and ultimately, the more success you will get. Everything starts and ends with empathy. Filter everything you do from your marketing, your branding, your product offer, and anything else through the customer's eyes and not your own. Number 2 is I've seen a lot of people fail on Amazon. You'd think it's because they got the wrong product or they just burnt a whole ton of money on PPC because they didn't know what they were doing, but that's actually not the case. The problem occurs way before that could ever happen. Look, starting a business is hard, and no matter how kind of easy some of these videos make it seem, it is hard. The reason most businesses fail is not because the business was bad, it's because, frankly, the owner was. And look, life will get in the way. You might be starting a family, you've got different work pressures, you might have just your time being pulled all over the place. There might be 1,000,001 different things trying to pull your focus away from your business. And many people will let that happen, and that's why they never succeed. They treat their business as a hobby and just pick it up and put it down anytime they please. Instead, you have to harness the power of consistency. It's much better to do something in little chunks rather than rarely in massive chunks. For example, spend 15 to 20 minutes doing product research at a time. Don't do 4 to 6 hours on a Saturday. If you were to look at your advertising report once a month, you are going to be missing out on a bunch of keywords that you've overspent on, and you've just been leaking money throughout the entire month. Instead, if you were doing just a few minutes per day, you'd be on top of it every single day. Create a routine that works with your lifestyle so that it can be consistent. Number 3 is imagine everyone looking at your product is distracted. They're at work trying to hide their phone, they have the TV on, they're cooking, they have the kids screaming for attention, and your little product can be swiped away or locked at any time. Because attention is a limited resource. And your images on Amazon need to clearly communicate within a few split seconds. Okay. Just like on Netflix, you can scroll through the thumbnails deciding on what you want to watch based upon one image, or the same on YouTube. Or on Tinder, you're quickly swiping left or right, making these split-second decisions about if you like someone or not. Your brain is fantastic at interpreting images, and on Amazon, that's no different. Here's 3 things that will help. It takes about 1 second to read 3 to 5 words. So on your images, keep your word count to an absolute minimum so you're not wasting time. Instead, communicate as much as you can through imagery rather than text. Then take that photo and imagine you removed all of the text. Does the image still communicate the feature that you're trying to communicate? If the answer is no, it's a bad image. If the feature is waterproof, don't just say that it's waterproof. Have the product working in water and show it in use. And lastly, as most people shop on mobile and a lot of people need glasses, if you make the text small, you might as well not have it at all. A lot of people just simply won't be able to read it from their mobile at a normal arm's length. So in this case, bigger is literally better. The 4th secret is linked to this. You've just learned that attention is a limited resource, and that's why you have just one chance to capture attention on Amazon. You do this through your hero image, which is your first image on your listing. This is the one that customers will see when they search for the product. Imagine you have 1,000 people searching for your product and see your listing. This is known as an impression. Let's say only 0.3% of people click your listing based upon those 1,000 impressions. You will get 3 clicks. However, let's take the same 1,000 impressions, but this time a click-through rate of 1%. This means 10 people will click your product. Now that is 7 more opportunities to make a sale rather than the previous example. From running hundreds of tests on this, there's a few ways that you can increase this number very easily. Let's say that 20% of your competitors have product packaging, the other 80% don't have it. And out of those 20%, all of them have black packaging. You want to make sure that not only do you do packaging so that you stand out against the 80 that don't, then you do a different color other than black so you can stand out against the people that do have packaging. You need to make it look real, and this comes down to perspectives. Show your packaging, your products and your accessories from one perspective so it looks real. And lastly, go against the grain. If all the other sellers' products are facing right, you face yours left. If all of those are in the middle, put yours off to one side. And this is because the odd one out sticks out like a sore thumb and your eye is immediately drawn to it. But on Amazon, standing out is not a bad thing, it's a very, very good thing. The more attention you can get, the more likely you are to get a click. The last tip is the most important. You could have the best product in the world, you could have the best click-through rate in the world, but if this figure isn't right, nothing works at all. Now I'm talking about your conversion rate. This is a percentage that shows how many people visit your product listing versus buy your product. If 100 people visit your product listing and 10% buy, you have a 10% conversion rate. So if you're paying for advertising to get people to click on your listing and only 5% of them are converting to a customer, you'll most likely be unprofitable. However, take that same advertising traffic at a 25% conversion, you're probably going to be profiting. So let's say you have those 100 clicks from before and each one has cost you £1 in advertising. That's cost you £100. At a 5% conversion rate of a £20 product, you'd make 5 sales and you'd make £100 in revenue. So 20 times 5 is £100. But you've spent £100 on ads to get the customers to the listing to buy £100 worth of stock. At this point, with the cost of goods and the other Amazon fees, you have lost money. However, at a 25% conversion rate, you would make 25 sales rather than the 5 and make £500 in sales rather than £100 in sales. It's the same 100 clicks, but you've converted them into customers at a higher rate. Now, here comes the really interesting part. If you combine a good conversion rate with a good click-through rate from the last points, that is where you can really dominate. Let's assume previously your click-through rate was 1%. That means all the people that saw your ad on Amazon, 1% of them clicked, which equals your 100 clicks, and then 25% of them buy. Let's assume through optimizing your hero image and your advertising, your title, your price and reviews, you're able to get that to 2%. That £100 in advertising has now brought you 200 clicks or people onto your listing. At the same 25% conversion rate, you've made 50 sales. Those 50 sales is £1,000 in revenue. So £100 spent and £1,000 in revenue. That's 10 times more than when you originally started out, just by focusing on your click-through rate and your conversion rate. It literally can be the make or break of your business. And if you're struggling right now with your own Amazon business, focus on those two numbers and try and increase them and you will start to see better results. If you want to learn more about Amazon, then you might want to check out this video right here. And if you found this valuable, give it a like, a comment, and of course, subscribe for other videos just like this one. I'm Jonny Bradley, and remember, you're just one product away. Bye-bye.